Hello, we are Group 21. For our social issue, we decided to focus on the issue of anxiety. The topics we will be going over today are how do we define anxiety, what is the current state of this social issue, and lastly, how does it impact a child, their family, and the larger community. So, what is anxiety? Anxiety can be defined as a state of arousal that is subjectively experienced. This feeling usually comes from apprehension or uncertainty associated with negative thinking. Many people associate stress and anxiety as the same thing, being synonyms, but it's important to note that they are two completely different issues. Symptoms that an adult can look for to identify a child that may be struggling with anxiety are excessive sweating, dizziness, difficulty concentrating, trembling, nausea, and restlessness. Note that this is only a short list of symptoms. There are many others. Youth diagnosed with an anxiety disorder are likely to struggle in the future. Studies show that childhood anxiety has long-term ramifications associated with future depression, substance abuse, and other mental health diagnoses.
I now will be discussing anxiety within the two different types of families that there are as a majority. So to begin, I will talk about anxiety within supportive families. So children with parents that do believe in mental health may try to help, but it can eventually lead to problems such as just further raise concerns and stress from the parents that could stress out the child even more, and an increased chance of holding back their children socially, such as not putting their child into preschool at a young age since they may be socially anxious, and a loss of income to tend and care for their children in order to provide either therapy or counseling for their children as well. And another family would be anxiety within dismissive families. So this would be the parents that do not believe in mental disorders and follow the mental health stigmas that there are. So children within these families uh, do experience dismissive actions that do lead to children feeling shameful about their issue. So this preventing them from getting help when they are older, and families following a secrecy to hide their child's mental disorder, acting like it doesn't exist, and the lack of acknowledging or searching for proper mental health services for their children, which will just further their mental disorder.
Anxiety can affect the community in many ways, but more specifically through schools. In general, anxiety can affect the child's academic outcomes due to how much they tend to stress and worry constantly. With that, a school may have to provide more resources to work with children who might be struggling in school due to their anxiety. If schools don't or can't provide those resources, many students will struggle academically, which can lead to a decrease in their attendance as well. Overall, the decrease of attendance and the decrease of good academic reports can lead to schools not receiving as much funding. The lack of attendance in children can also affect teachers.
The organization that I chose is the Anxiety and Depression Association. The primary focus is improving quality of life for those who suffer with anxiety, depression, OCD, PSD, in company with other disorders. The organization website offers expert-reviewed content highlighting how to recognize signs and symptoms of anxiety disorder, as well as treatment options such as access to a therapist. People can easily connect with a therapist through the website based on their location. I believe that the research seems to be accurate. Not only does the website offer support for children, but it also enlightens their family members on what the child is going through, giving the guardians a better understanding of how they can assist their son or daughter. The downfall is that while the website and articles are free to users, contacting a therapist isn't. For many, therapy isn't considered an option. The disorder can lead to being a financial burden on families, as getting therapy or medication for anxiety is relatively expensive.
So another organization that can help children and families with anxiety is called the Freedom from Fear organization, which is a nonprofit that was founded in 1984 by Mary Gardino, who did suffer from anxiety and depression herself. And her goal was to provide education, research, and support regarding both anxiety, depression, and the many related disorders to these. And through this organization and their website, they do offer self-screening tests for anxiety and depression, plus free counseling for these individuals that do take the test. And they also provide listings of different support groups and allow users to search for any physicians within their area that they can reach out to. So I do believe that this resource could greatly benefit the families that do face anxiety, as they can become more comfortable and familiar with what anxiety really is and get away from the mental health stigmas that there are in society. And it is an easy way to access the different treatments, such as counseling for free for their children if their insurance is accepted. This organization also benefits the child as well, since they would be within a safe place and know that they are not alone dealing with anxiety. And although this resource does carry many strengths, one weakness that it holds is that it does have a definite need for insurance, which many low-income families cannot afford. And with this, a lot of low-income families are more likely to develop mental disorders such as anxiety. So this is a big problem. But overall, this organization does provide a lot of information regarding anxiety, which could help many families that deal with anxiety.
Another organization that can help children and families through anxiety is the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. This is a professional medical organization who has over 8,000 child and adolescent psychiatrists and other professionals. They are nonprofit based and are funded through memberships and donations. Their main goal is to promote healthy development of children, adolescents, and families. A way that they provide resources to children and families is through their website. Their website is filled with a lot of information about different kinds of mental disorders. Most of their website is mostly to be able to help inform families who may be seeking guidance or trying to understand a certain disorder better. Their website contains a link specifically for this issue, and it's called Anxiety Disorders Resource Center. This resource center contains general treatment resources, facts for families, video clips of professionals explaining what anxiety is and how their parents can help the child. It also contains clinical resources from their organization itself and what these resources can do for those families and children. And finally, one of their best features is that they contain a link where you can find a psychiatrist or a professional for your child near you by typing in your address or zip code. Since this organization makes sure to establish professional standards of their clinical practices, the link provides you to a psychiatrist or a professional who also has high professional standards of their clinical practices near you.
So my name is Magali Raya, and the research I found that would help children that are diagnosed with anxiety or any type of mental health illness would be the National Institute of Mental Health. So the National Institute of Mental Health's mission is to transform the understanding and treatment of mental illnesses through basic and clinical research. Additionally, they also support research on mental illnesses and the basic science of the brain and behavior. They communicate with scientists, patients, providers, and the public about the science of mental illnesses. And lastly, they provide the signs and symptoms of different mental illnesses, the risk factors, treatments, and therapies. This is very beneficial for the family members of the children who are diagnosed with anxiety or any type of mental health illness, because it provides them with different types of therapies that the children can go to, as well as it allows them to gain more knowledge towards what the risk factors are and what treatments the children can use.
After conducting research, our group concluded that anxiety has remarkable impact on children. As conveyed, many children suffer from this disorder, and these numbers keep on increasing throughout the years. The issue should be addressed nationally, bringing awareness and educating the public on its severity. Social class should not affect what type of treatment is available to children suffering. Furthermore, as numbers increase, educators should be better informed on how to successfully address children with anxiety. Fortunately, as addressed, there are organizations whose primary purpose and dedication is to help children suffering from anxiety. To conclude, this is not an issue to be taken lightly, as anxiety can significantly affect one's health. Lastly, these are the resources we used in conducting our research.